Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Rosie, and on this channel I like to talk about all things makeup and beauty. And for today's video I will be decluttering all of my eyeshadow palettes. We're going to go through them all and hopefully I declutter some, and if I don't, no, I have to declutter at least one. This is very hard for me. I have a very special connection with every palette I own. I don't keep palettes that I don't like. If it's in my collection, they are good. But it's starting to get a little crowded in my drawers, so that's the reason for this declutter. Also, I know I'm gonna buy more in the future, and I'd rather get rid of the old, and also I don't want to hold on to something too old because makeup does not last forever. We all know this, so in a way this is necessary. So if you guys are interested in what I declutter, please continue watching the rest of this video. And here we go. Alright guys, we're gonna go through about 27 palettes I believe. And the first one I want to talk about is the ABH Norvina palette. And this is, I believe, from the Pro series. And this is the first one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm definitely going to keep this, mostly because I need some of these colors. I don't have some of these colors in my collection. But the shimmers are very like mid to me. Like, they're not bad, but they're not like the best. They're just whatever. And the mattes are actually pretty pigmented, but they're a little hard to work with, but I'm keeping it. Alright, so next palette we got is the Michaela X Glamlight palette, and I really do love the shimmers in this palette. They are gorgeous, minus two of them. Not that they're bad or anything, but the shade called Glow Up and Accent are extremely similar on the eye. You really can't tell the difference. That's the only thing I really hate about those shimmers, is that they're way too similar, and I'm just not a fan at all. And I can't remember if it was What's Poppin' or if it was Cookie, but those two, one of those two shimmers is very hard pressed, and I think it's Cookie for sure. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't want to pick up as well as all the other shimmers. The mattes are beautiful, minus the first row. Those are not as great as I thought, especially Willow. Willow's my least favorite shade in this palette because it's very patchy, kind of hard to blend, but once you get it blended, it looks all right. As for the colorful shades, great. I love it. But I think I am going to keep this, mostly because the shimmers are my heart, and I can get by with the neutrals not being that great because I have other ones. So yes, I'm keeping this. Alrighty, we got one of my favorite brands, which is BH Cosmetics. This is the Naughty palette. I believe this was the 2021 holiday collection. And oh my god, I love, see, this is different because the neutrals and the mattes in here are freaking phenomenal. They never really steer me wrong, and the shimmers are pretty, like, they're not like multi-dimensional or anything special, but they are still really good. The two glitters I don't really use that much, so just ignore those shades if you don't like glitter. But the other ones, oh my gosh, such a freaking cohesive palette. I love this palette. I need to start using it more because, yeah, it's starting to get old. But yeah, I'm keeping that one for sure. Next palette we have is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Royal Blood palette, I believe. Yes. I believe it's called Royal Blood palette. If not, I'll correct myself here in the screen. But I don't know what to say about this, guys. Oops, sorry about that. I don't know what to say about this because I am actually very disappointed in this palette. half of the colors I like, half of them I don't even bother with because it's just not as good as I thought it would be. But the two shades for sure that I can't stand is the Sworn Enemy and this Executor shade. I know now that I do not like mattes with glitter. I tried to love it, and yes, you can work with it in just basically very limited ways. And the Swarm Enemy shade, that one hit hard pan very quickly, like more than once. I try and try to fix that one, but it keeps getting hard panned and it's disappointing. And then when you do get the shade right on your eyes, it doesn't wow me. So I'm definitely getting rid of this one. I've held on to it for so long and I still haven't managed to play with it, so I'm just gonna call it what it is and just give up on this, because as much as I wanted to keep it, because yeah, it's a special packaging or whatever, but it's not worth it. I'm not keeping this anymore. I need to stop lying to myself. But yeah, that's going away. Alrighty, moving on to one of my favorite palettes, which hint hint, I'm gonna keep this palette, is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. Oh my gosh, this palette is one of my absolute favorite color stories. It has the perfect amount of colorful shades mixed with everyday colors, and the shimmers and glitter reflex in here are just so stunning. This is my second, I believe, Huda palette that I've ever owned, and I do not regret it at all. This is my favorite shade, by the way. My favorite shade out of all this. You would think it would be another color, but no. That's my favorite shade of the whole palette. And this one too. That one's just so special. It has multi-dimensional shifts. It's so beautiful. It's unfortunate that the camera doesn't pick it up, but also the shade below it, the second to the last, that one is a pretty bronze color with like a purpley shift. Oh, I'm in love with that one. But anyways, yes, I'm keeping that one. Next we have is the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop Cherry on Top palette. I really wanted to get the whole collection, guys, but unfortunately everything got sold out by the time I had enough to get it. But wow, I was not upset getting this one. I got this one at TJ Maxx, and oh my god, BH Cosmetics hardly misses for me. Yeah, so spoiler alert for this one too. Yes, I'm keeping this one. There is no way I'm getting rid of that one. This is the only Anastasia palette, or Anastasia Beverly Hills palette I own, but I do not regret this purchase at all, because this is literally an everyday palette, a travel palette, day to night palette, you name it. It's perfect for whatever mood you're in for, minus obviously the colorful aspect of it. But yeah, I'm keeping that one. Alright, this is the Sassy Siennas palette from Dose of Colors, and there's nothing wrong with this palette, but I have had it for a long time and it's not something I want to save or keep anymore. I like palettes that have a good amount of mattes and shimmers, and that's an only matte palette, so not enough for me to want to keep it. So yeah, I'll just give that to somebody special. And this right here is my first Huda Beauty palette, which is a rose quartz, of course, and I do not regret this purchase at all. I love it so much. I love how it has such a romantic kind of color story, very cool tone, pinkish, brownish colors. Oh my god, I love it so much. The shifts on these shimmers is absolutely beautiful. I love it for fall, I love it for winter, I also love it for spring. Summer not so much, but yes, I'm keeping that one. Such a good palette. Ooh, another one of my favorites. The BH Cosmetics Avocado Toast Palette. You guys, if you have brown eyes, green and purple are your best friend. These colors are so complimentary for brown eyes. I kid you not, trust me. It looks so beautiful. And these colors are just, they're perfection. I love this palette. So yes, I'm keeping this one for sure. Here we have the ColourPop Bare Necessities palette. I really love and enjoy this palette a lot. But I don't need to keep this. I have a lot of other neutrals. There's no reason for me to keep this. It's too big and I don't need it. And I know a lot of other of my special people would love this. So I'm saving that for somebody else. So I'm not keeping that one. Here's another one of my BH Cosmetics palettes. This one's the Mrs. Bella. And this one is another beautiful travel palette, but with more of a pink tone to it. And oh, I love this palette so much. Just as much as the ABH mini palette. Both of these are super travel friendly and it creates such a beautiful color story. As you can see, you can either do it as quads or use the whole palette on its own. It's beautiful and perfect. I really love this palette. I'm so glad I bought it. I think I only bought it for $2 too. And it was at Marshall's, I believe. I love that palette so much. So yes, I'm keeping that one. Another BH palette. This one's the 2000s remix. And boy, does this reminds me of the 2000s for sure. And like I said, they do the shimmers really well too. And the mattes. This is a palette I'm definitely keeping. I love it. My colors there. My freaking neutrals are there. My nighttime colors are there. Purple. You name it. This palette is just so good. Love it. Keeping it. Putting it to the side. Alright, so this is the Glamlight Paint Pro palette. I absolutely love this palette. Don't mind the stains. I believe that's the oil seeping through from the cream shadows because they are very creamy, but they are gorgeous. They're beautiful. They still work just fine. The mattes are pigmented, not like extremely pigmented, but they are pigmented, and they're also very blendable and diffusable if you want to do a more lighter wash, maybe like a pastel look. This palette is perfect for that. Any kind of colorful look that I think of, this is a palette that I always reach for, mostly because it just gives me so much inspiration and I absolutely love the quality. So I'm definitely keeping this one. Now let me tell you about this palette. This palette is freaking beautiful just from the packaging itself. And I remember when I first bought it, it smelled just like pineapple. But oh my god, this palette was my absolute favorite. You can tell I've used it quite a bit. Oh, this was like my go-to palette for like forever. The mattes are beautiful. The shimmers are beautiful. It's so soft and velvety. Oh my god. But I have to let this go because I haven't used this in such a while. And I do not want to let it go to waste because it's just so beautiful. And I know someone that I love that will absolutely use this and love this. So I think it's time to get rid of it. So goodbye to that one. This one is a recent purchase. It's the J-Cat Dia Noche palette. Can't remember which one because I think they have like 4 different kind. But this one I think is more of a jeweled toned kind. I'm not sure. I'll have to post it up here for you guys. But this is actually not a bad palette. The bottom 2 rows are actually really good. They work really well. The mattes are where you kind of lost me. Like that's where the palette lost me, and I can't deal with that's too much inconsistency for me. So that's gonna have to go. And of course, another BH palette. This one is the Lunar New Year palette. I freaking love this one. Oh my god, you're gonna hear me say that about almost every BH, but like I said, I don't have palettes in my collection that I do not like. Like, yes, I don't like some of them, but this one, come on. I mean, obviously it's very all over the place, but I love palettes like this. I love something that challenges me, something that gives me a more of a creative vibe. So I'm definitely keeping that. And here we have another BH palette. I love this one. This one is Passion in Paris, and these colors are absolutely stunning together. I don't know who created this format, but this is one of my favorite color combinations. It's so deep, so sultry. I love it. For the holidays, it's perfect. I'm definitely keeping that one for sure. Next, we have a ColourPop palette. This one is the Smoke Show, but I believe they renamed it Blowing Smoke. I hardly use this. I love the grays, the blacks, and everything. That middle shade right there, the really silver one, is extremely shiny. I've never had something that silver and that metallic. It almost looks wet. It's beautiful, but I definitely have to give this away. I hardly use it. I don't think I've used it for the past year, so I'd rather pass it along to someone that I know that's gonna actually use it. Now these two palettes I got as a set. It's the Tarte Gilded and Glamour palette, and boy, these are so good. I am so glad I got these. I almost skipped on these. And fun fact, that shade on the bottom of the gold palette, on the bottom right, that is actually a duplicate shade of the one right next to it, which is pretty funny, but I didn't notice it until I rewatched my video. But anyway, I love those palettes. I'm definitely not getting rid of them. Alright, so these three palettes are from the Say It collection, and I'll let you know first off, I love all of them. The quality is beautiful. The Do Not Disturb is like the perfect mixture of purples and blues. I really do love purples and blues. They go so well together. So that one is one of my favorites. This one I love for like date night, for like a romantic look. It's very beautiful. I love it. And some of these colors, minus that really bright shade in the middle, makes it look so elegant, so sophisticated. It's honestly one of my go-to palettes for a really nice, effortless look. This one is the Optimistic AF, and I love this one for fall, and since we're getting close to Thanksgiving, that might be one of my go-to palettes this month. I really love it. Now this one is a new one. It's the Glamlight wine palette. She had like a cocktail palette like collection, and there was like 4 other ones, but I got this one because hello, look at all those purples. See, this is what I think the Jeffree Star one should have looked like. Those are the purples that I absolutely love, and it makes sense to me. So yes, I'm keeping that one. And then this one's the BH Los Angeles palette. It is pastel perfection. The colors are beautiful. They're not so light where it doesn't show up pastel. They're still like true to color. What you see in the pan is what you see in your eyes. So I'm definitely keeping that. Now, unfortunately, this one I'm not going to keep, but I will tell you this. That top shade, the first one, that is my absolute favorite shade out of this whole entire palette. And this shade is exactly why I bought this palette. Because look at that. It's just a subtle nude champagne sparkle. Like, I love this all over the lid. No other colors, no other shades. So honestly, I'm gonna declutter this, but I think I'm going to depot this just because how much I love that color. I haven't seen anything like that color. Alright, and these are my single eyeshadows from JD Glow. If you're looking for that special eyeshadow, the most unique colors, the most popping kind of colors that you need, I would really recommend JD Glow. They have the best formula in eyeshadows in my opinion, and they're only like $8 or something. I'll put it up here to let you guys know which shades and how much they are, but I really recommend their eyeshadows. If you're looking for something special, look for JD Glow. I promise you, you won't regret it. And there you have it, guys, all the palettes I'm getting rid of. Alrighty guys, those are all the palettes and all the ones that I am getting rid of, which is not many, but it's still something. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.